Alright, Mage here. I'm going through a little video and talk about all the stuff that I have in my kit for doing Nightmare Division at Potato Brutality, also known as High Desert Brutality. Coming up a bit later in August. Just finally got all of my crap together, organized, more or less tested, more or less prepared. We'll see how it goes. Apparently we're down to only 4 people in Nightmare, and 2 of them are from my household, so we'll see how that goes. They've been making a big deal about how tough it's going to be, and how it's going to be more difficult physical challenges, more difficult shooting challenges, a total lack of free time. We'll see, right? Hopefully we'll at least survive and come up with something. And, you know, it's some good, solid, strenuous Type 2 fun. Alright, here we are. Let's start out first with, this is a shooting competition. Guns should be at the top of the list, right? Because you can't do it without guns. First, there's this guy. This is a What Was Stoner Do upper that I had the fortune of acquiring used. What a great deal. It's the normal What Was Stoner Do upper. If you want to find out what that is, you can go look at InRange TV. I have just a KP15. This is a DMR trigger lower. Normal safety, normal buffer. So not the actual What Was Stoner Do lower, but it's a lot cheaper. And I'm right-handed, so the ambi features are less than critical. Attached to it, random ass, no-name sling that's a quick adjust. And hey, it works. It's fine. I got the all-plastic, cheap, lightest possible Magpul bipod. It's not the best bipod in the world, but it is a bipod and it's relatively light. And I'm trying to save some weight because the gear weight on this has been adding up really quickly, and it's pretty cumbersome walking around in it. There's a Romeo 5, the circle dot version, and Juliet 3 magnifier. They are fine. Has the nifty... Yeah, I love flipping that thing. It's really amusing. But out to 500 yards, this is all right. In theory, we get to use DMR. I may be borrowing a very nice DMR. I may be using one of my other ARs that has an LVPO on it instead. We'll see whether or not the borrowing works out. Find out in the video after the match. So, that's the rifle. Pistol. Once again, same thing I've been using. Started life as a Glock 34. Took away most of the Glock 34-ness of it by sticking a Glock 17 slide on it. This is an aftermarket slide from Aim Surplus with ports and all that. Aim Surplus ported barrel. And otherwise has the OE improvements that are in the Glock 34, the mag release, slide release, slightly better trigger. On here I have this Potato red dot. It is a circle dot. It is a $100 dot. You might be able to get a view of it in there. Maybe. Well, we'll see. I'm going to probably do a review on this thing if it does survive as Brutality. Well, I'll do it anyways. If it dies at Potato Brutality, I'll do a review saying, hey, this $100 dot died. But so far, it works pretty good. I like the circle dot, much faster to acquire. It is a bit brighter than the other super cheap dot that I had previously, and a little bit larger, possibly more robust. And Nightmare, you're required to run armored. My armor, this is the same LA Police Scare Plate carrier that I've had for quite a while. They're pretty well made, kind of old-fashioned. I added a placard type attachment to the front. Originally had just a big sheet of moly here that I just cut the hell off because you don't need all those layers of Velcro. That works fine. You don't need anything else. The placard makes it more adjustable, and also it's just better than the pouches I had on there before. These have the little plastic inserts in them, so you can snap mags in and out. Got an extra pouch here for some candy and caffeine. I did end up getting slightly better plates that are some of the Bowtac level 3 plates and the ceramic and ultra high molecular weight polyethylene. They're a bit lighter than LA Police Gear plates, and they are multi-curve and a bit more comfortable, and they're also significantly thinner, which also helps with the comfort situation. All right. Butter. Can't lose that guy. He's critical. Belt. Another cheap Amazon belt. It's been holding up reasonably well. Have this Blackhawk holster on here. Finally have a nice snap-in holster, which is, makes it reasonably quick to holster and reholster. I have this on a bungee cord, so that when we're doing like these rifle-only stages, I don't feel that dot with dirt, which I've done before and has kind of sucked. But comes off reasonably quickly, and the gun comes out. And that dump pouch, stuff my little non-fingered tactical gloves in there. A couple more mag pouches on the side. These are, twin AR mag pouches, but you can cram 3 Glock mags into them as well, and that's why I'll be running it with 3 Glock mags and AR there, plus 3 AR mags on my chest. So for all these brutality matches, you're required to bring at least a quart of water with you through every stage. I've got this little canteen pouch here. It actually was for a Source 1-liter bladder, but I just have 2 half-liter bottles stuffed into it because this is the compliance water that we're not actually drinking. It's just hanging out as a technical requirement. Likewise, you're also technically required to have a knife that's at least 4 inches in a fixed blade. Little Kershaw dagger. Had this thing for years. Last year, I wore a fucking sword to the thing. Completely pointless. It was just for the lulz. It's too much weight I'm carrying this time, so I went for a really light knife. And of course, a first aid kit. I have a very well-packed first aid kit with tons of stuff in it. I think it could use its own video at some point, but I'm not doing that right now. And then, the elephant in the room, as it were, this giant-ass pack. Because you're required to bring a ruck. There's a whole list of stuff that have to go in the ruck, and you have to have everything you need for 2 days of shooting and overnight in it. I have, for their hiking portion, some of the stuff I'd be wearing during the stage is attached to the ruck to carry with me easier. Because wearing a backpack with all the other stuff on, that's a bitch. It sucks. So my plan is to, for hiking, stow helmet and sustainment pack on here. And of course, Nightmare is an outgrowth of Armored, so you have to have a helmet, cheap plastic bump helmet. It's fine. Relatively light. Hasn't broken on me yet. The other thing you get to carry through the stage is whatever ammo you're using that day, as well as whatever food you're going to eat over the course of that day. So I have a little sustainment pack. Ammo and pouches on the end, food, emergency tools like a multi-tool, basic repair stuff, extra batteries, and enough food for a day. And I can add this to my weight after I take the backpack off and go through all the stages and obstacles while wearing this as well. It's another hefty because there's kind of a lot of ammo in there. Now, for the rest of the pack, they require you to have a grand total, counting all the water put together, of 6 quarts or liters of water. I know those are different things, but that is what the instructions said. You have to have a shovel. They specified something analogous to a trenching tool. I elected not to bring the ultralight, ridiculous backpacking shovel, because there's always a chance those bastards are going to make us dig a hole or something. I want at least a decent shovel, so this is the Cold Steel Spetsnaz shovel. Fine, it does the job. And I have tucked into here a poncho, got some more water, and more water. And there's also a 3-liter Camelback in there. They also have other requirements, like you have to have some rope, 50 feet of rope. I have more ammo in here just for reloading for the second day. just to add more weight too. Ear Pro stuffed in here. Little red flashlight. Flashlight is on the list of required stuff. Basic toiletries, that kind of stuff. Actually on the list of things you have to have as well. And that's all stuffed in here. Not that complicated, don't really need to go over all that. You do also have to have 3 days of food. So I went and took my backpacking type experience to make some ultralight backpacking style assault rations. So this is a day's worth of food. It is about 18 ounces and extremely dense. The calories per ounce is way the hell up there. I got one of those in my little cement pack, a couple more in there. You do have to have a basic sleep spoon, poncho, and some sort of insulated thing to wrap yourself up in is the minimum requirement. Well, I have that. I got a poncho. I got a Swagman roll. And these also double as my weather gear. So this is something you can wear around as a jacket. It also turns into a sleeping bag / quilt. Poncho does the same thing. Not required, but if you want to use it, you have to bring it. So we also have an actual tent in here. There's the poles right there. I have a sleeping pad. One of the nice little inflatable backpacking ones that's quite light. But tent's down quite small. It's a very minimalist tent. We're not bringing the rainfly and using the poncho as the rainfly because we really needed to cut some weight. Sleeping pad, one of the little inflatable ones, another little REI item. You have to have some additional clothing, as well as a complete extra set of outerwear, which is way too much weight. I really don't want to bring this, but it is on the list, therefore it's here. All of this adds up to about 68 pounds total. The rifle, armor, helmet, belt, all the stuff in the pack. It was really more than I want to be carrying around. If I had to go out and run around and do this kind of thing, I would find a way to cut some weight. Realistically, if I had to hike a long distance, I wouldn't be wearing armor. It's like more likely to die from heat stroke than exhaustion. Yeah. But this is what we're doing. It's supposed to be difficult. That's the whole idea. And we are more or less equipped. And that's my stuff.